Somebody owns that, that's what we're trying to downtown with her. So she called every meeting, talking to Katie, was part of the, there's a better. So we're really coming out of that, parents used to, think, one is out there, that's right, I mean, yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of things. There's been little times. You just get out of the town. Yeah. You walk up the stairs. And then. Yeah. It was sitting on the couch, I was right at the couch, and Scott.
I was this close to wearing that shirt. Well, my wife told me to go with perfect out of that closet.
You got time to stop in. Oh, yeah. Here and so, yeah. Talking about their. I made a mistake. Last minute. Oh, yeah. Her daughter is very deep. My wife's in a so crazy. I don't know where I was. And then you need to hire that. It's like first.
Morning. What, 4 days today or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure it's here.
Yeah. The bigger one? Well, that's better. Yeah, but they always been able to not shoot. See, nice one. It's always. You know how you didn't go to this. Our show, that's the thing about it, but it's. Thanks, Tracy. I was going to. Yeah. Yeah. How many guys?
That's what you gotta say for that one, right?
But I needed. You got it. For who?
Oh,
It would have been all. Oh, yeah. She was so happy.
Want that little library she has on. They're like $19. Oh, where?
Already types it to make like yes. But I guess.
Yeah, I love it for having she's.
Yeah.
It's got some faces on.
I always and they just turn them on and they're like you at point. Yeah, it's restart. Yeah, it's you turn them on. It's not anything. And then they turn back on, start moving again. I know these guys say it's definitely with that.
I got into this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe way.
It'd be easier to hide that for your day.
I don't know, I just walked past it.
I haven't talked about it.
I don't want
I'm free for words, but I got you. Yeah. I'll be happier.
Getting it done.
Honestly, it's not that. Yes, yes. I would her so. Yeah, I did that, yeah. Study much better. Right now, I could see that. Yes. It's like, yeah, well, I found that out when I felt that lot.
Yeah, that's.
It's 9:30, we're going to call the Atlanta County Board of Supervisors in order. There'll be a brief moment of silence for our troops, law enforcement officers, and emergency responders, followed by a prayer invocation and a pledge of allegiance. What supervisor would like to do the prayer today? Debbie. All right.
Heavenly Father, in Psalm 32:8, it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye. We are asking for your wisdom and guidance in every decision made in this county. We thank you and we praise you. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, clerk will do the roll call.
Showalter,
Here.
Yanis,
Here.
Newman is absent. Schreier,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Condado, here. Briggs,
Here.
Ottinger,
Here.
Harris, here. Hess,
Here.
Jensen,
Here.
Ives is absent. Sorgel,
Here.
Lopez, here. Timmons is absent. Freed,
I so badly want to make a comment to you. I
leave
am,
the town of Crescent out of it.
I am here.
Couches,
Here.
Almakinder,
Here.
Schultz,
Here.
Cushing,
Here, and I'll make the comment for you.
We all
But
want.
I think either yesterday or today was National Grandparents Day. I'm still waiting for the gifts.
Halowinski.
Here,
We have 18 present and 3 absent.
18 present, 3 absent, we have a quorum of conduct business. Item number 3, make sure everybody uses their microphone when speaking today. Item 4, accept the minutes of July 15, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of July 15, 2025 as presented.
Okay, is there any corrections or changes? Hearing none, all in favor, signify.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. On item 5, we're gonna take the 2024 annual financial report first because we have a gentleman on Zoom for this. Tina?
Good morning. In your packets is a copy of the, 2024 annual financial report, also known as the audit. Anthony is online with us today. He is the partner with Sickage LLP, so I'll let Anthony introduce himself if you'd like. He looks like he's unmuted.
I'm here, yes. Thank you, Tina. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here with you this morning. Happy to answer any questions you may have on the 2024 report. I know Tina has provided some information for you in the packet. And Tina, if you have any comments that you wanted to make, and then I'm happy to just make a few remarks on my end as well.
Sure, so just some high level stuff. First of all, we did receive a clean audit opinion for the year, which is always an important thing to know. Total revenues countywide, including net transfers, were 62.2 million for 2024, and expenses were 55.7 million. This does reflect a decrease of 1% in revenues, which is expected as those COVID era related revenues were tapering off. But expenses decreased by 5%, so that also is good news. The total cost of county programs was 89% of our revenues. So in other words, for every dollar we collected in revenues, we only spent 89 cents. Everyone's favorite topic, the general fund balance at the end of the year. We did have a favorable variance to our budget with actual revenues in the general fund finishing above the budget, actual expenditures finishing below the budget. So after transfers out for capital improvement projects, we were able to add $1.8 million at year end to general fund reserves. So at the end of 2024, our general fund reserves were 27.9 million. 2.3 million of that is non-spendable, so things like accounts payables or other obligations at the end of the year. 4.9 million is assigned, or as we call it, continuing appropriations. So projects or expenditures that will be continuing. 10.8 million is held in our rainy day fund, and that leaves 9.9 million at the end of 2024 as unrestricted general fund. So those were just my high level comments. So I'll let Anthony make his comments if he'd like, and then we can answer any questions, or we are available to answer questions after this meeting if you'd like to call or email either of us.
Hey, Anthony, any comments?
Just to echo a couple things that Tina noted there, just highlighting again that we did issue a clean unmodified opinion on the county's financial statements for your 2024 balance sheet and fiscal year period there. Again, that is the highest level of assurance as auditors that we can provide. So just want to again commend Tina and her team as well as the board for supporting the infrastructure needed from a reporting standpoint to receive that unmodified opinion. Tina and her team and others throughout the county who are involved in the audit process are always very responsive to our inquiries there. Grateful for that. You have a great team there, so I encourage that continued support in that. I know the ERP system change over the last several years has been a very heavy lift from a project standpoint there. Feels like from Tina has been obviously heavily involved in kind of overseeing and leading that project from the finance standpoint there, but we have seen a market improvement in terms of the information coming out of the system there and the ability to look into that information there as well. So that was definitely a worthwhile and necessary upgrade from what we can tell from our standpoint there as well. Sound controls in place at the county from our standpoint as well there. So again, with that, happy to answer any questions and just thank you for the opportunity to share a few things this morning with you.
Any questions for Tina or Anthony? Okay, thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on to broadband report, Supervisor Sorrell.
Okay, Don is going to go ahead and talk about the infrastructure, and then Tony's going to talk about the funding or lack thereof.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Don.
The Buck Russell project is moving along. We've got the general contractor remains on site, working away at what we hope are quite a bit of the last connections that need to be made. Hooking up equipment, primarily some interduct. If you've been in the Minocqua area, they've been doing a lot of work on Highway 70 West. They started at that 70 West intersection about a month ago, 70 and 51. And then they've been working their way west. You'll see their equipment around the Stone Park. That area right there that needed, that still needed interduct. The county is in, communication with our council, and I've also asked for some help with the executive committee. And we've reached out to Bug Tussle and try to get a financial snapshot of where they're at in relationship to bonding dollars and projects. And the way the project needs to be completed. That includes the laterals that the county expected to receive as part of the overall bonding project. When the county approved the 24 million plus the PSC money, you expected to have some lateral construction as well to these county facilities, so hopefully those discussions are fruitful. Our lawyer had reached out to their council last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe. And we're hopefully gonna be in communication with them. So that's what I have to report at this point.
Okay, and I can give an update on the bead bob situation. So as we all know, the bead program got changed to this bead bob, which took the control out of the counties. So the county or the broadband task force had little power with the bead program now with the bead bob. We had a meeting on August 11th where Mark Leonard was in there at the PSC. And he has stated that they will have who will serve our county for the 5,644 people that don't have broadband. He will give that notice before August 27th. And then there's an open comment period. And then September 4th, they have to put this into the NTAI for what they're going to suggest we go with. So by the next county board meeting, we will know exactly who got the funding for these members in Oneida County. And so we're watching it on a daily basis, but again, we'll know something by the 27th of August.
Questions for anybody? Connor?
I guess for both of you, do we know from Bug Tussle how many clients, customers have been signed up or anything like that at this point?
No, I do not.
They state that they have 50 miles live and it would be in the southeast corner of the county. We've got some calls in from them on exactly how many hook up, but they state that they have on their website that they have 50 miles active and they have 150 more miles that are to be active within the next few months. So
Well, I had 3 questions, you answered 2 of them at the end, so again, for the specific request from Bug Tussle, obviously it's in our best interest to have them have a net positive cash flow, so. If they get more customers signed up, marketing, they're not doing a great job of that, I don't think, Spectrum's doing a great job, but obviously we want Bug Tussle to have a strong cash flow for the modernization. Could we just hound them some more on getting, I know you are, but could we continue to hound them to get numbers, because, you know.
I'm looking for volunteers. And if the county board chair says I may have one additional hound right there.
Yeah, I would
know.
Yeah, sure.
We have reached out to them and it's been, they're extremely difficult to communicate with. They have a small group of people. And they have a lot of irons in the fire. And when you look at the way that bonding was structured, and then you help me along here if I'm mistaken. The total customers throughout the entire bonding. Is what's gonna make that payment for financial viability. Correct? So if they have X amount of millions of dollars. If they're really super strong in one area already. And they're working at developing more customers as this other money becomes available and finishing up our project. They eventually are hopefully paying for some of our project with money that they're making in another, in one of those other counties where they have an active, fiber network up and running. So, you know, it's valuable to the county that everybody that took that tranche of money, all these counties are also successful. It's to our advantage at Marathon or Oconto or Forest or a few of these other latecomers also be financially successful because it's that same pile of money that needs to be repaid.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Steven? Yeah, clarification on the promissory note. It mentions here that there is a local match for the lead grant, which I assume was that 1 point some million that was discussed previously. And so I guess from what, if I infer from what you said earlier in regards to the lead grant, we have no say in where that will be spent or who actually will benefit from putting that
Yeah,
to use in providing service.
correct, and that's kind of a typo, I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
Oh.
Because that should have been stated for that 1.5 million promissory note that you guys were talking about. And not about the beat, so that is a mistake that I made in the letter, I'm sorry for that.
Any other questions?
But we don't have any input on how this beat Bob is gonna be laid out. We will have a time, and the question to the board right now, that if we find out next week who has been picked, there is a time where you can make public comments or concerns about who they picked. As soon as that is released, I can send a note that can be passed out to the board on what happened, and if there's a position that the county board wants to make public about who they picked, we can definitely do that next week.
Okay, any other questions? Rob?
Is it true that other fiber providers can also be installing in the right of way, right next to Buck Tussle?
True.
You could have more than one.
That's true.
And if the other providers are more aggressive in signing people up than Buck Tussle, that somewhat concerns me. Cause I think they need to be aggressive with that. If other providers are right next to them and they're trying to get hookups.
Any other questions? Connor, go ahead. One more. Anybody else? All right, thanks, guys. We'll go on to the Highway Department 2024 annual bud report. Alex?
So the presentation, or it should be in your packets. I'm just gonna go through this pretty quick if you guys have any questions. So the first page just basically outlines our staff, some of the overview of what we do. We do it, so next page talks about our facilities, our main facility in Rhinelander. Then we have 3 satellite shops, so they're basically only open during the winter months. We have one in station there during the summer. Then we do have 2 gravel pits that we operate. We perform work for DOT, 395 lane miles, basically routine maintenance, plowing, winter maintenance, patching, mowing grass, some special projects here and there. And then we obviously perform our county work. We have 172 lane miles, same thing, routine winter maintenance. We make our own salt, sand and brine. And then we have our own administrative staff for billing, budgeting, etc. And then we do have 2 mechanics in-house that do our maintenance on our equipment. We do perform work for other county departments such as forestry, and then a little bit of work for municipalities, some of the towns with it. So our funding makeup for the state highway maintenance, that majority is funded through what they call a routine maintenance agreement. That budget has stayed the same for at least over a decade. Then we have a couple other different funding sources to the state, the discretionary maintenance agreement, which covers special projects here and there. We don't really know what. They don't determine those until the winter, spring of each year. A TMA, which we've got one this year for replacing a lot of the signage on Highway 47 and Highway 32. And then LFA, which is the local force agreement, and that comes out of a different pot of money, and we got about $100,000 for some work on Highway 32. County highway construction, basically that's funded through tax levy, general fund transfers, and then through grants, through state level grants. County highway maintenance funded through the tax levy and the state general transportation aids. So 2024 county construction, we came in, about $200,000 on the budget. Our bigger projects, we resurfaced 1.3 miles on Highway G, 2.45 miles on Highway K, and about 3.7 miles of Highway N. Next sheet shows some of our maintenance, what we did for, the county and the state. It was a busy year, we did, 38 culvert replacements in total. We did quite a bit of asphalt wedging, a lot of crack sealing, quite a bit of, mill and fill patching. Next page talks about the maintenance budgets. It was a light winter in 2024, so we're pretty well under budget there on the county side. General maintenance, we were pretty close, mostly because we were cutting trees and whatnot all winter, that gets charged to general maintenance. State maintenance, we were over budget on the art, which is always a good thing, the state's never bumps to check. We're under budget on a crack sealing DMA and just right there at DMA for some asphalt repairs. So outside of the routine maintenance agreement, the state has been doing their best to try and give us additional funding through other sources, which is good to see. We did have several equipment purchases, few pickup trucks, some smaller grapple, a forklift, and then we have 3 patrol trucks that we ordered. One of them has showed up and 2 are very close to being done. So patrol trucks has been kind of a big topic over the last several years, so there's kind of a summary on the trucks we've ordered and what showed up. So in 2022, we ordered 2 trucks. Those chassis have been in for over a year. The bodybuilders just started working on them last week. 2023, those chassis have been in for quite some time. They have not started building them at all. 2024, as I mentioned, we got those 3 trucks should be done here within the next month or so. And then we ordered 1 more tandem axle truck this spring. The chassis should be here. And it will not get built until next year. So there's still a significant delay in receiving our patrol trucks. Next page talks about the highway department teamed up with Land Information to work on a GIS project. We basically took all our county highways and put them in a map and some mapping program or in the GIS program. I got a little snippet there kind of showing all the data that we inputted into the program. So it's really helpful for us to be able to look this up and we can see when was the last time the road was crack sealed, shouldered, who paved it, how thick is the asphalt, things like that. So that was it was a big undertaking, but Land Information is super helpful. They carried the majority of the load with that. So this is a great project to get accomplished. So looking forward in the future years, there's been a lot of talks about the highway facility right here in Rhinelander. Our goal is to make significant repairs and upgrades, including electrical distribution, panel upgrades, replacement of the shop drains, fire suppression, and some other upgrades that we see in during the bid process. 2025 construction, we've got about 7 miles of county construction down near the Pelican Lake area and Highway Q and Highway G. And then we also have an STP project and local bridge project on Highway L. The bridge is in process right now. They're actually pouring the deck this morning. That's on schedule to be open for fall ride, and then once fall ride is over, we'll start resurfacing the road. So that's 80% federal state funding, so that's awesome. We do have more grants coming up in STP grants with roadways. We got a section of Highway P in 2027, another section of Highway P in 2028, and then a section of Highway W in 2029. And they're taking applications right now, so we'll be applying for several more projects. We did receive a safety grant on Highway H, which is a 90-10 split. And so that's gonna be basically clearing out the clear zone, trees, moving utility poles, adding some shoulder pavement, some rumble bits. And then we've got several bridge projects in the program. Next year, we're looking at replacing the Highway D Sand Dam Bridge. And then in 2027, we have the County C Bridge that we'll be replacing. We will be applying for several more bridge projects this fall. So the notes again are at 80-20 split. So some notes of interest, the state budget, we're keeping a very close eye on it. They did pass a increase to the general transportation aid of 3%, which is awesome. The LRIP supplemental program is gonna continue for another 2 years, so that's $100 million. If things kind of track the way they have been, that's about $216,000 that the county received the last 2 cycles. And then the ARIP program, which is the Agricultural Improvement Program, was new last budget, and we're gonna continue that again. And then we also saw a $30 million increase to state highway maintenance over the 2-year budget, so we're hoping that we'll see those contracts with the state increase starting next year. Are there any questions?
Yeah, Alex, I got one. And since it was a mild winter and you're short, you underspent by 300,000 winter maintenance and 100,000. What happens to that money?
That just carries over until 2025. So this winter, this from January through April, this winter, we're actually trending over budget right now. We'll see what November and December does, but we'll utilize that funding to cover any shortfalls this year.
Any other questions for Alex? Rob?
Mine isn't a question, that sounds like a love fest here, but I wanna thank Alex and what he's done for our highway department. He's brought that to a level of expertise that I certainly haven't seen in my term on the board. He's very knowledgeable. His knowledge in terms of getting competitive federal and state grants is amazing. He's well connected with the County Highways Association and learning things from there. He does a wonderful job of planning, and he has an open door policy. And I know as town chair, when I had any questions, I would go to Alex and he would help me understand how to help towns as well. So Alex, I want to thank you for all you've done, because you really have made it a highway department. You've upgraded it significantly.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay, so I'll echo what Rob says, you're doing a great job, thank you. But then also, is it possible, I'm sorry to ask you for something else, is it possible to see a historical year by year comparison of the amount of miles of asphalt laid? Just because it seems like we've been doing more and more over the last few years, and your team has been keeping pace with that, but I just wanted to see what we've done historically.
Yeah, I should be able to get that for you. I can email that to you. This year's definitely gonna be a big spike because we got 6 miles of STP grant, so we're gonna be over 13 miles this year, which is great. 7.17, I think, is what we wanna be, 25-year rotation, 7.17 is what we try to hit. So we've been over 7, I think, since I started, so we've been staying on track, and the county board's been great at making sure we have the money from the general fund in order to keep doing that. But I can get those numbers for you. How far back do you wanna go?
As far as is easy.
Okay.
Like, you have to dig for something, stop there.
Let's give it the people lives.
I think that what happens with Alex is he gets STP and other grants, and it depends if it's a 4-year grant or a 2-year grant, and then he works that into the cycle. So Stephen, you have a question?
Yeah, just for my edification, I'm curious, like you mentioned in 25, you're estimating the cost for County Highway G 4.5 miles at 1.4435 million. And then looking forward, we're looking at doing 3.6 miles of P for just under 3 million. Why do you get less miles at more cost when it's STP funded?
So the STP and local bridge program, because we're utilizing federal funds, they have to be designed to a certain standard. Basically, when we get the funding, so like highway, we got the funding for those projects. And then I sit in some meetings here and there and review a couple documents, but other than that, the designer and the DOT kind of handle those projects. So we're, as a highway department, we are hands off. But because of the standards we have to have it built to, it's state let, so the state does the bidding process. I think the plan for the L project is over 300 pages. So there's just a lot more detail in there. There's a lot of different environmental factors that we have to abide by. A lot of different things go into it, so it's basically like a state DOT project.
I almost wish I hadn't asked that question.
Yeah.
Because invariably, if the state or feds are involved, it always seems to incur significant extra cost with actual paying. But, if the standards are higher, do we get more longevity out of that project compared to one that's not funded by STP?
Theoretically, yes. So Highway P and Highway L, for example, those were two old state highways. So L was old 51, P was old 8. So they were like Highway P is concrete with an asphalt overlay. I think it's about 6 inches, 8 inches of concrete with 6 inches of asphalt. So it was one of those things where we didn't really know what to do with it because our normal process would not work on that type of road. Same with L. When we were doing culvert replacements on L, we hit 28 inches of asphalt in some places. So, those roads were always gonna put on the back burner just because we didn't know what to do with them. So being able to get the grants and get some of that engineering expertise, from the consultants and the DOT made those things, made the projects a little better. I think because of the structure we see out there, those projects are gonna last longer, just because, like I said, anywhere from 20 to 28 inches of asphalt on L, and there's gonna be 14 inches of, pavement on P, so I do believe we'll see some more longevity out of them. We are trying a new process in 2028 on Highway P called the coal in place recycling, something that we've never done before. One of the things, I'm sure everyone's seen it with the state, when they do a mill and overlay on a project, they have reflective cracking that comes through the new surface and not many years, sometimes to next year. So one of the things with the coal in place is that you basically recycle, you mill off an inch or two, and then you mill off another 2 inches, and then mix that with oil and lay it back down. And so it's a little more flexible, and so it kind of prevents those cracks from coming all the way through. So it's something we're gonna try on that to try and extend the longevity of that pavement.
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions for Alex? Anybody? All right, thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on to public comment. You can sign the attendance form, 3-minute limit, state your name and address. Anybody want to make public comment?
I'm Burl from Hazelhurst. I commented a couple times in front of P and D, and I'm afraid sometimes I'm not real articulate and maybe I confused in what I was thinking about. I wanted something included in the comprehensive plan about climate change. And unfortunately, some of the people on the committee thought that I meant we were gonna combat climate change. That wasn't the case. I actually believe we're beyond the tipping point and we're gonna see climate change. If you look at Texas or Milwaukee or the fires, I think it's already here. So what I wanted was how we're going to address the changes that we see. And we're gonna see changes in how big a culverts are you gonna put in if we're gonna have flooding? How are we gonna manage timberland when the trees we have there now won't grow? How do we manage our lakes? How do we fight fires during the drought? These are things that I think we need to be planning for in the future. All I wanted was some kind of overview that said, we realize climate change is happening and we're gonna try to deal with it. The two reasons I wanted to see this in there, if people apply for grants, whether that's the county applying or towns applying or nonprofits or lake associations, they could reach back and say, see, we're gonna go along with our comprehensive plan here and try to deal with the problems we have. The other thing is, 8 years from now, we're gonna do this whole thing again. And they're gonna look back and say, you guys didn't even realize that we had climate change as a problem. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good morning.
My name's Carl Fate. I live at 6824 US Highway 8, in the town of Crescent, at Spur Lake. When it comes to land use planning in the water-rich environment of Oneida County, nothing is more important than watershed protection. Protecting our watersheds requires the following: reducing erosion and runoff through land conservation and exemplary forest practices. Protecting wetlands that hold and filter water that end up in our surface waters. Protecting our shorelands and riparian zones. And encouraging sustainable economic development consistent with watershed protection. That's all I've got. Have a nice day.
Anybody else, public comment?
Eric Gunpala, N5776 Wooden Bear Road, Irma, Wisconsin, property owner, 4212 Lakewood Road in Oneida County, Cashin. I'm gonna talk today about the comprehensive plan. Good morning to you all. I sent you all an email over time, what our concerns were as the comprehensive plan progressed. And unfortunately, the county fell woefully short of state statute requiring public input in this plan. 2013, you guys did a ton of public participation. But 2 years ago, approximately, this board voted on a resolution to change how the comprehensive plan will be constructed. And by doing that, you eliminated public participation. Did you do it intentionally? Of course not. But that's what happened with now, way it is now. There was an intention to clean up the 2013 plan. It was long, it was extended. I agree with that 100%. It needed to be shortened and cleaned up so people would actually use it. What wound up happening with that resolution is you cut the heart out of the plan. You cut out the conservation, you cut out the way of life, Oneida County, how people in Oneida County live. Again, intentionally or not, it wound up being hijacked by the P&D committee. They literally wrote the whole plan. If not for our group, Oneida County Clean Water Action participation, I believe you would have had a chance to have zero public participation, comments or otherwise. I think you could have accomplished that. I think you need to improve that. Problems, 3-minute comments for public concerning, 4 hours devoted to a timber company who consulted with a Texas public extraction group. Problem, 31 pages of recommendations on the comp plan, top to bottom, from this Texas group's plan. Big problem. So I think obviously 3 minutes is not any time to go into detail, so I can't do that. What I could do and what I'd like to do is, since I have participated and our group has participated in many of these meetings and this, so I'd like to give you my personal grade on the comprehensive plan effort. The construction of it, I give it a D. Public participation, I would give it an F, and it's not even close. I thank you for your time and I appreciate all your consideration. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Chairman, thank you. I'm Stephanie Burrow at Taxes and Voting in Hazelhurst. And may it please the supervisors today, speaking about our comprehensive plans, both the 2013 plan and the current proposal. So the 2013 plan was a really good plan. And at least 3 current sitting supervisors approved it. So please look closely at the changes to make sure that you agree that these changes make the plan better and serve the people of the county. Particularly the primary policy changes, and this is about policy, one every 10 years or 8 years, you get to actually look at policy. This is your opportunity to be very careful about what is important to you and to the people of the county. The primary policy changes in this proposed plan are in chapter 2, pages 27 to 29. They are marked by big hot button words and phrases, including private property rights, cost benefit analysis, and coordination. Just to tell you a quick short story about something that happened at the last Planning and Development Committee meeting. Some of you weren't there, most of you weren't there. Representative Tiffany braced the committee and those of the public who were attending, and he braced us with his presence. He read a Webster's dictionary definition of coordination from his phone. He assured everyone that coordination is in federal law, but he didn't say where or what for. If that explained the purpose of addressing coordination in the comprehensive plan, I missed it. Also present at that meeting were a couple of Oneida County titans of industry there to support the new plan. Each one asserted that those who spoke against the proposed changes to the natural resource policy do not represent the 30-some thousand people of Oneida County residents. I'm not sure whether they think they represent our interests or not, but there are ways that our interests could be considered by you. We're not allowed to have referendums anymore. That didn't work so well for the titans of industry, did it? But we could have surveys. Surveys are inexpensive, easy ways used by other counties to gather public opinion. So I would ask you to consider a different attitude towards conservation. Instead of being angry about the Pelican River Forest, which I see anger expressed throughout the comprehensive plan, particularly the natural resources section, be proud of it and be proud that it's protected in perpetuity. Protection in perpetuity is a good thing. Cost benefit analysis, compare what you protect in perpetuity to greed, short-term greed.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your attention.
Any other public comment?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Kathleen Cooper. I live at 40 Riverside Road in Ryan Manor, Pelican Township. And of course, as you know, I'm like a broken record. I object to the language in the comprehensive land use plan as it applies to conservation. Stephanie mentioned the cost benefit analysis for conservation projects and only conservation projects. Why aren't we having cost benefit analysis for extractive projects? I'm sure, because if you did, I'm telling you, conservation would be the more cost effective than mining in the long run. I also kind of dispute the fact that you keep saying that you promote property rights, yet you don't want a private property owner to sell conservation easements on their own private land. That's their right. They can do that. Except in Nebraska, apparently, where the American Stewards of Liberty have told farmers that they cannot preserve their farmland for perpetuity because the American Stewards of Liberty have lobbied for a law that they can't do that on their own private land. I don't know, like I've been told, these are just guidelines, these aren't policy. However, when Tom Tiffany thinks it's important enough to show, Tom Tiffany, a big proponent of mining,
this is important to show up at the public comment session of this. The very limited public comment sessions and the very limited advertising it to the public that we were having it. Then I smell something rotten going on. And you know, like this, the conservation is something that both liberals and conservatives in this county come together with about. It's nonpartisan, it's important, it's good for our health, it's good for our environment, it's good for shielding climate change. And it's, you know, there is nothing, and you talk about your tax base, it draws in tax money. Maybe not from property tax, but maybe not as much from property taxes, but you know, like you get taxes from, you know, the hotel fees, from the restaurants and all that stuff. And to me, it's not a question of, you know, liberal versus conservative, it's kind of a question of right and wrong, you know, like, why do you want to do things that are against public opinion? Why do you want to do things that your constituents don't want? You know, like in a world of, well, I'll say it, in a world of like Boss Hogg, be Andy of Mayberry, you know, we revere people like that because they do the right thing. In a world of Mr. Potters from, It's a Wonderful Life, be George Bailey, you know, stick up for your people, instead of, the corporate interests who want to rape our land and take the profits and money. They're still shedding arsenic at the Flambeau mine, so just saying.
Anybody else public comment? Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on to consent agenda. There's 4 resolutions and 1 appointment. Approval. Second, do a motion or second to approve the consent agenda. Any questions? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Couches,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Almakander,
Aye.
Hess. Cushing,
Aye.
Showalter,
Aye.
Schreier,
Aye.
Briggs,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Ottinger,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
Hannes,
Aye.
Zorgel,
Aye.
Harris. Aye. Condado.
Aye.
Lopez. Aye. Halowinski.
Aye.
18 aye, 3 absent.
18 aye, 3 absent, the consent agenda passes. Moving on to, resolution 47, 2025, offered by supervisors of the executive committee to reclassify the employee services manager position. Billy?
I'll call upon our administrative coordinator.
Good morning. So this position, was held previously by Jennifer Lewinberg, who is now your HR director. As with all vacant positions, we encourage department heads, committees of jurisdictions to look at them to see, you know, are they in the right place? Should it be filled? Vacancy, all that good stuff. So we looked at this at the executive committee and made a decision to recommend that this one be moved from an exempt grade level M to an exempt grade level L. So that is what this resolution is regarding.
Any questions? Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Faster than I thought.
Reed,
Aye.
Cushing,
Aye.
Hannes,
Aye.
Briggs,
Aye.
Almakander,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Hess,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Showalter,
Aye.
Ottinger,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Couches,
Aye.
Condado,
Aye.
Schreier,
Nay.
Zorgel,
Aye.
Harris,
Nay.
Halowinski,
Aye.
16 aye, 2 noes, and 3 absent.
16 aye, 2 nay, 3 absent. Resolution 47, 2025 passes. Resolution 48, 2025, offered by the supervisors of the executive committee to restructure and reclassify positions and wages for the solid waste department. Billy?
Jenny and Lisa are here to speak to it.
Okay, good morning. We are here, to propose a restructure of the solid waste department. The main reasons being is, first of all, we're having a really hard time recruiting and maintaining positions out at solid waste. Namely our technician positions. We've had it posted for months and months. We've received limited to no applications, and most of the applications we received were not qualified for it. Took a hard look at those positions. So the technician position takes care of operating equipment. It takes care of, dropping and picking up drop boxes, which are dumpsters. They take care of delivering things, and the position very much does most of the same job duties that the operator positions do within the county and other departments. Therefore, I'm proposing that the technician positions be reclassified to be appropriately placed from grade level G to grade level H. So in this proposal, we're proposing a couple of things. Besides that, we're proposing eliminating the currently vacant supervisor position and creating a scale operator position. This would be a lower paying position, so there would be a cost savings. In addition to the site being very busy, they see more and more traffic there. I think they're putting record levels of business this summer. The scale office is very busy as well. The department is open about 50 hours a week. So therefore, it requires more than just, it requires more man hours to keep open, it being open Monday through Saturday. So this will help with the scale office. And the other thing we're looking to do is, since we're eliminating a supervisory position, we're looking to take one of the technician moving to operator positions and making them a lead position. That way we would still have supervisory on the site, which keeps the operators from running into the director every time they need anything, which will create efficiencies. And this will also give the director time to get the job duties done that are needed to run the department administratively. So we feel this will, in the long run, create efficiencies. There would be a slight increase in the amount of about $3,000 increase to this change. However, we haven't been able to fill some of the other LTE positions that are also budgeted, so there would be more than enough money to cover this additional cost. So the staff is very, they're very overworked out there. They're very stressed out right now. We want to keep them. It's an important department. It's a department that receives a lot of public contacts. A lot more than most other departments, so.
And Jenny, none of this impacts the tax levy because she has to cover it within her budget, so it's just a 3,000 and bottom line is they're doing a lot more over their expected revenues. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Showalter,
Aye.
Jensen,
Aye.
Lopez. Aye. Briggs,
Aye.
Cushing,
Aye.
Sorrel,
Aye.
Hess,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Harris. Aye. Ottinger,
Aye.
Schreier,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Harris.
Aye. Did you call me twice?
No, Hess, I called Hess before.
Anyway, aye.
Okay. Almakinder, Condado,
Aye.
Couches,
Aye.
Halowinski,
Aye.
18 I, 3 absent.
18 3 absent, resolution 48, 2025 passes. Resolution 49, 2025 offered by the supervisor of the Public Safety Committee to appoint Cambria Hurlbut as the chief medical examiner. Stephen?
Yeah, Cambria, would like to introduce you.
as it states in here, Cambria has pretty much been directly involved, at many times, almost exclusively involved, as, the medical examiner since, early February. We have been very impressed with, the progress that's been made. And we decided sometime back that we wanted to really evaluate this department. And address some of the concerns that led to, the two individuals that were previously there, leaving. And we believe right now that this is really in the best interest for not only Oneida County, but Forest and Vilas, who we contract with as well, to provide, medical examiner service. I think that, what we're proposing is not only a cost savings, but actually probably will provide better service when it comes right down to it. And we're, very confident in Cambria being able to lead this department.
Question for Stephen. Purple call roll.
Schreier,
Aye.
Zorgel,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Condado,
Aye.
Ottinger,
Aye.
Hess,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Briggs,
Aye.
Showalter,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Almakinder,
Aye.
Harris,
Aye.
Cushing,
Aye.
Lopez, Jensen,
Aye.
Couches,
Aye.
Hannes,
Aye.
Elwinski,
Aye.
18 I, 3 absent.
18 I, 3 absent, resolution 49, 2025 passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 50, 2025, offered by the supervisors of the Planning and Development Committee to recommend adoption of the 2025 Oneida County Comprehensive Plan updates. Carl?
Good morning. We'll save the best for last. For those of you who may not be aware, Oneida County has a comprehensive plan. We initially adopted a comprehensive plan in 2013, which was a 3-year process. Every 10 years, the Oneida County is required to update that plan. The plan has certain elements that are within it, and both the 2013 plan and this plan we did get assistance from North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. Sam is in front to my left. If you have any technical questions regarding the comprehensive plan or state statutes. So on December 20, 2022, the Oneida County Plan Development Committee that oversees zoning planning pursuant to state statute 59.69 met. At that meeting, they made the following motion. Motion by Rose, second by Almakinder to approve the retention North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission to update chapter 26 of the Oneida County General Code with the Planning Development Committee to function as the oversight committee during the process, with the understanding that the associated costs are covered with their membership to North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. So again, back in 2022, the Oneida County Planning Development Committee made the conscious decision to be the committee of jurisdiction on overseeing the creation of the comprehensive plan. As part of that, the Oneida County Planning Development Committee came to you, the Oneida County Board, to come up with a public participation plan. That plan was adopted by the Oneida County Board, and that plan development stated throughout the plan process, the P&D committee will provide oversight for the updated chapter 26 Oneida County Comprehensive Land Use Plan Ordinance of the Oneida County General Code. The P&D committee will recommend adoption of public participation plan to the Oneida County Board of Supervisors. At that time, when this public participation plan was before you, you as County Board of Supervisors had the ability to delegate whomever you wanted to work on the comprehensive plan. So technically, the United County Planning Development Committee did not hijack, the term has been used, the comprehensive plan. You made a conscious decision as the county board to leave it up to the Planning Development Committee to come up with a plan in compliance with state statute. As part of that public participation plan, all meetings for the planning process will be posted and open to the public, which was done. Towns will be contacted periodically throughout the process, which I contend was done. The Planning Development Committee sent a draft of the comprehensive plan to the towns prior to going to public hearing. They had a 60-day window of opportunity to provide comments to the Plan Development Committee, and the committee would have gone through those comments. We did provide that to the towns did provide the comments, and the committee did look at that and consider it as part of the adoption of this plan. Plan related materials will be available to the courthouse for public review, which was done. The draft plan and maps will be available on the website for public review, which was done. A public hearing will be held to solicit comments from the public, which was done. The Oneida County Comprehensive Land Use Plan will be distributed and outlined in state statute, which will be done if you adopt it. Like the memo I stated or sent to you dated August 7th, again, you adopted a public participation plan and the committee met. Basically, they met approximately, I don't have the exact number. 21 meetings that were open to the public for public input. And again, on February 26, 2025, the final draft of the comprehensive plan was forwarded to all the towns. In Oneida County, it was requested that any input regarding the matter be provided to staff within 60 days. And if a response was not received, that it was to be assumed that such towns were abstaining from providing input regarding the matter. Oneida County has 20 townships, 5 responded, 15 did not respond. And I said publicly to the Plan Development Committee, I said this respectfully, the county comprehensive plan is not that exciting to some of the towns because the towns are more concerned with their comprehensive plan. And by note, when we adopt a comprehensive plan for Oneida County, by default, you are adopting the future land use plans within those towns that are zoned within Oneida County that have a comprehensive plan. On July 14, 2025, the Oneida County Plan Development Committee held a public hearing. That means 17 people provided public comment, 2 letters were received. So we did forward that comprehensive plan to you. There's also been some comments related to groups not being heard or not being involved. And again, all I can state is I got this from Monique, my administrative assistant, and we send notice of all of our plan development meetings to a page full of individuals who wanted to be notified, including the news media. We send the posting to the county clerk to be posted on the website. We send it to everyone with the plan development committee or department, and we send it to you, all the Oneida County Board of Supervisors. So I believe the public was informed and was well aware of what was going on. There is also one other bone contention is that the Great Lake Timber Professionals Association was given an exorbitant amount of time. Well, the Great Lake Timber Producers Professionals Association did provide comment. It was voluminous comment, and the Plan Development Committee took painfully long time to go through those comments, good, bad, or different. Also, the Oneida County Clean Water Action Committee gave comments.